My name's Angel Guadalupe, and I was born in New York City. And my mom did the best she could in how she knew how to raise us. But I was basically a product of the streets, and what I learned was from the streets. I was raised around gangs and drugs and violence, and not too proud of it, but I was. Anyway, I was probably 12 years old. I was 12 years old when I started doing drugs, and since the age of 12 to the age of 52, I did drugs. I drank, I cursed, I did so much. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes. I had a lot of stuff that I'm not proud of.
Hi, my name is Maria Santiago. I was born and raised in Manhattan, New York City. I came from a home of both parents. I'm the youngest of 3 children. I grew up in a household where we were taught a lot of respect. Both parents, a home that was free of drugs and alcohol. But my parents were strong. My mom was a good wife, a good mother, and she raised us with a lot of respect. And to be a wife that was supportive of her husband no matter what. That instilled a lot in me to be like that with my husband, which I met Angel in middle school, but we reconnected in the year 1980. Angel got to meet my father briefly before he passed away a few months later. That made me rely on Angel. He became my supportive person that I wanted to be around. We end up getting serious, and we started to live together in 1981. And during that time, early in our marriage, I started to follow his footsteps, and I began to do things that he was doing, and we began doing illegal drugs, getting high, and doing things that were not proper, and I know wouldn't be proper in the eyes of my mother or my dad. Soon after that, our marriage started to have strain. Our marriage began to be strained by addiction and recklessness and bad behavior. And I was not happy in my marriage.
So my story begins with one day my nephew Ivan came to visit Life Covenant Sanctuary, and he was talking to me about Christ. And I said, yeah, I have God. I got God in here, okay? And he says, there's 2 ways of knowing God. There's walking with God and knowing about God, okay? I only knew God. I didn't walk with God. You know, I pushed it to the side. I told him, yeah, I believe in God. I don't need to go to church to believe in God, and so on and so forth. Anyway, my daughter started inviting me to church, and anyway, I promised her one day that I was going to take her to church that Sunday. Well, it so happens that Saturday night I chose to do my regular stuff, and I was up all night, and my daughter tried to wake me up and said, Dad, you told me you were going to take me to church. And I said to her, yeah, I'll take you to church some other time. And she would not have it. My daughter, Karina, picked up the clothes that I had and threw them at me. And she says, Dad, you're taking me to church right now. And so I was frustrated, but I got up and I said, you know what, let's go. And I took her. Anyway, when I walked into this church, I felt something. I didn't know what it was, but I felt something. And from that time on, I'd never been the same, really. I felt so different. I kept on coming to church, but guess what? I kept on still getting high and acting like a fool. And one time I came out of church. I went into to my house, and I attempted to act like an idiot again, you know. So the Lord said, "Oh, you want to act like an idiot? Okay, I'm gonna let you." Everything that I did not touch me. It did not touch me. That was a sign right there. I took all the product and I flushed it down the toilet because it wouldn't do nothing to me. I got clean in 2 weeks. After that, I was completely clean. No cursing, no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. No rehab, no looking back. I had no regrets. It was the best time in my entire life. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget where the Lord has brought me from. And I thank Him today. My testimony is so somebody out there could see that what God could do is incredible. Incredible. You just have to let Him be. You have to let Him. If you don't let Him, He's not going to force Himself on you.
In 2011, we came to Life Covenant Sanctuary, and through the teaching and the preaching and the will of God in our lives, we have learned to forgive each other. We learned to love each other again. I'm also very proud of my husband, from where he was to where he is today. I give God all the glory. He's done 360 turn from where he was to who he is today. I'm so proud of him. He's such a great husband. I knew that's the man that I was yearning for many years. I knew it was inside of him that he could be the man he is today, the man of God that God intended him to be. And I love my husband. I'm proud to say he's my husband. And I'm so thankful for my walk with God, where God has brought us from, what He has done for us, through us. And I'm so thankful for our church, Life Covenant Sanctuary.
Our testimony could be your testimony. Like I said before, there ain't nothing God can't do. There ain't nothing.
We're living proof.
I'm a living proof of what God has done. And if He did it for me, He'll do it for you.
And if He did it for us, He can do it for you and your marriage and your children.